Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, January is looking a little bit dry. But I will say there is some absolute gems in here, so let's get into it. Today we're gonna go over the top 10 most hyped sneakers dropping this January. Kicking us off at number 10, we got the New Balance Warped Runner Lunar New Year. These have kind of already dropped. They're available on the New Balance website for you guys out in the US. However, it seems globally the release is kind of staggered, so just be on the lookout for this pair of shoes. A bunch of different retailers are slowly making them available. Now, the New Balance Warped Runner is one of my personal favorite New Balance sneakers from last year. It's incredibly comfortable. I think it looks super cool. It's got this minimalistic, futuristic design. And just overall, it's a solid pair of shoes. And this colorway, this almost triple black cyber looking colorway, I think is one of the best ones. So yeah, if you haven't tried the New Balance Warped Runner out just yet, I strongly suggest it. It's a solid pair of shoes. Coming in at number 9 is the Jordan 1 Low Chinese New Year. Now, to be specific, this is the non-OG pair, coming in predominantly Bordeaux and all over white with a gold Nike swoosh. These are going to be dropping on January the 24th alongside the rest of the Chinese New Year pack, the Year of the Dragon pack. This is actually a super solid colorway. It's basically taking the Team Red theme that Jordan Brand and Nike have used on Dunks and Jordan 1s. It just adds that Year of the Dragon flair with gold accents and different special details. A really cool detail is the added metal hang tag. I think that looks dope. And then also, I think my favorite detail has to be the outsole, which is like this smoky semi-translucent color. It's a solid pair of lows. I expect they're somewhat more limited than your regular Jordan 1 low just because this is a special edition for Chinese New Year. Coming in at number 8 is the Nike Alphafly 3. These are going to be dropping on January the 4th and is basically Nike's next generation of their super shoe. The Alphafly, if you guys didn't know, has a pretty crazy past. Like, the first version of this shoe started a whole conversation around banned sneakers. It was the sneaker that Elliot Kipchoge wore to become the first man on the planet to ever hit a sub 2-hour marathon. Now, this being the third version, you would expect it has different refinements and is even better than the first one. Just based off of looking at it, it looks like it's going to be pretty crazy. They've definitely made some pretty big adjustments, and I think another person also won a marathon wearing these things recently. Nevertheless, this is a super shoe, so it's definitely tailored more towards people who are very, very serious runners because it also has a serious price tag at $285. Coming in at number 7 is the Jordan 6 Yellow Ochre. These should be dropping on January the 27th, and overall, as far as a pair of 6s goes, this is not a bad colorway at all. It comes with the Carmine Jordan 6 color blocking, so it's got the yellow nubuck with the white leather all around it. You got the black accent colors and a semi-translucent iced out outsole. These are going to be dropping in a full family size run, so plenty of pairs I imagine, and as far as Jordan Brand and Jordan 6s goes, I don't think they'll completely sell out. Coming in at number 6 is the Nike Dunk Low Cyber. We've actually got a decent amount of dunks that are going to be dropping this month, but this colorway in particular I think is actually pretty dope. Now, the Nike Sneakers app is calling this the black and anthracite colorway, but basically it's called Cyber because it's pretty much all over reflective. When you hit this with a flash, all of the overlay panels light up and are reflective, and I think that looks pretty sick. But obviously in the daytime, it just looks like a really dark gray, almost black colorway of the Nike Dunk Low. Now, the only issue I can see with this pair of shoes is that because it comes with synthetic reflective material, it's probably not going to be the best quality, or it's going to crease really badly. We've got another pair of dunks coming in at number 5. This one is just the Nike Dunk Low Gray. Nothing too crazy special about this pair of shoes, but as far as like a gray pair of dunks goes, this is definitely one of the better ones. Nike Sneakers app is calling this the Cool Gray and Football Gray, and it's going to be dropping on the 10th of January. It basically just takes on darker and lighter shades of gray for the upper, and then the midsole is slightly sailed out, and the interesting thing is the outsole. It's kind of like this mismatched semi-translucent thing going on. The materials look better than a lot of other GR dunks on this pair of shoes. Coming in at number 4, we got another pair of dunks. I promise this is the last one. It's the Nike Dunk Low CO.JP Reverse Curry. Now, these are dropping January the 12th, and Nike is actually calling these the Dark Curry instead of referencing the CO.JP pack that originally dropped back in 1999. Now, this colorway is definitely pretty special as far as dunks goes. Again, it was part of the CO.JP pack that dropped back in 1999, and it's coming back for the 25th anniversary. Now, as far as the colorway goes, it's pretty okay. It's not my favorite looking pair of dunks. It's this darker brown color that's for all of the mid panels, and then the overlays just come in solid white leather. I would definitely hope that they do put some kind of more premium leather on these things, considering that they are a reissue from the past. All right, before we get into the top 3, you know I gotta hit you with some honorable mentions. We've got quite a few here, so let's kick it off with the Valentine's Day dunks. These are going to be dropping on January the 29th. Not the special, but hey, at least you would be able to get it before Valentine's Day, which historically speaking for Nike is something that you hardly ever see. Another honorable mention would be the year's first Nike SB Dunk Low that's going to be dropping this year. This one's kind of like a greenish bluish color. These are going to be dropping January the 12th. Now the next two honorable mentions are really just mentions. There's nothing confirmed. I wanted to kick it off with a Nike sneakers app Restock. I would highly suggest taking this one with a grain of salt, but Stash Sneakers, the Discord group, reported that we should be getting a restock of the Jordan 1 Lost and Found, the Military Black 4s, the Midnight Navy 4s, the Maniere 4s, and some other ones sprinkled in there as well. Now according to them, they're supposed to be part of the picks of the week thing that Nike sneakers app does, which is pretty common, and essentially it's usually leftover pairs or stock that they already sold out, but they've got like some returns or something like that. So there's very few pairs available, but it is a restock, and I thought a lot of people always ask about these restocks that Nike sneakers app does, so I thought I'd mention it. It should be taking place on January the 11th, but again, grain of salt. I don't want to say this and then you guys expect some crazy restock with a bunch of pairs. Your chances of getting any of these things are next to nothing. Final honorable mention is Yeezy and Adidas. As you guys know, last year Adidas was supposed to drop a bunch of different Yeezy sneakers that they were planning on dropping. This was all in November. However, they paused releasing these things and said that they potentially would drop here in 2024. Now, as of right now, it's still up in the air whether this is actually going to happen or Adidas decides to just axe the entire thing and never drop Yeezys again. But I will say that Adidas does have a lot of Yeezys left in their warehouse, and writing these things off would be a massive financial hit. They've already produced a bunch of pairs. We even took a look at a pair of foam runners that was supposed to drop, but we've seen a ton of leaked pairs which Adidas does in fact have in their warehouse. So yeah, as of right now, all I'm going to say is we should probably at least hear a little bit more this month in January about what's going to happen, if they're going to drop it or not, or who knows, Adidas might just decide to just load them all up this month. All right, let's get it. Top 3, and we're going to just kick this off with Yeezy. So actual Yeezy now without Adidas. So we got 2 pairs of shoes that Yeezy is dropping. First of all, the Pod Socks, which have already launched. They're available on the supply website. This is for pre-order, and a lot of people should start receiving their pairs of this Pod Sock this month. However, a new pair of Yeezy slides were also leaked. This is a very interesting pair of slides because I don't know what the hell they're made out of. Apparently they like clip together or fold together somehow. They look like AirPods and also retail for $200. So these things should be loading up this month if you did want to pick up some new Yeezy slides. I think at least it would be very interested to see what these things are like. Coming in at number 2 is the Jordan 1 High Yellow Ochre. Yellow must be the color of the month or something, especially yellow ochre. Now these are going to be dropping January the 13th. We've had a decent amount of yellow Jordan 1s fairly recently with like the Pollens, and then we got the Taxis, but this does come with the Chicago color blocking, so at least there's that. This is probably going to be a lot of people's favorite yellow Jordan 1. I definitely don't think they're bad. Is it something that I'm going head over heels for? No. Coming in at number 1 is the Jordan 1 Low Year of the Dragon. Now this is actually a very nice colorway, and because it's a special edition, again Year of the Dragon themed, these are probably going to be very limited. I mean, I don't think they'll be up there with the Year of the Rabbits because those only had 5,000 pairs, but I would expect these things to be very hard to get. So these are going to be dropping January the 24th alongside the rest of the sneakers included in this Year of the Dragon pack. And the GS colorway of this pair of Jordan 1 Lows is actually pretty different. It's all over like gold shiny material for the upper, which looks pretty cool. Nevertheless, it all follows the similar kind of color scheme. I imagine they put these things in a special box. Cross your fingers because that could look pretty wild. Either way, it's definitely going to be the most hype that's dropping this month as of right now. We potentially could hear some surprise drops that happen throughout this month. You definitely want to subscribe to the channel for all of the latest updates. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comment section which sneaker are you trying to grab this month.